Hi, everyone. Welcome. Very excited to be here today. I have a wonderful session kicking off harmonizing AI and SEO. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Shelly Fagin. I am the director of SEO here at DigitalOcean, obviously a sibling company to Cloudways. So very excited to be here today. We have a wonderful panel. I'm hoping we'll go ahead and bring our first panelist up on the stage. And I would like to welcome Dragos.
Perfect pronunciation, Shelly. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you. I would love for you to give a little bit of background about you. You're the global head of business development. And pronounce the company's name for me.
It's Twipla. Comes from the website intelligence platform, by the way.
Love it. Please tell us a little bit about you and Twipla.
Perfect. So my background is emphasized more on the marketing and the sales elements. At the moment, since now for 3 years now, I joined the Twipla guys, the Twipla team, the website intelligence platform, as I mentioned, and we're covering the analytics, the website analytics side of things, but in a more complex way, which I'll dive deeper into, maybe into our conversation. But most importantly, in a privacy by design manner. Yeah. And at the moment, we have more than 2.5 million installations worldwide, growing rapidly. So I'm glad to meet every one of you on stage.
Very glad to have you here and excited to meet you as well. Thank you for joining us. I want to bring up our next panelist. We have Koray. Welcome to the stage. Hi, how are you? Thank you for joining us today. I would love to hear a little bit. I know you're the founder of Holistic SEO, a digital marketing consultancy and agency, but I want a little bit about your background. I am curious because I read a little bit about your background. It sounds fascinating. Please take it away.
Thank you. So my background is actually too long to explain in a few seconds, but I started SEO from the casino market. I was a PBM manager. Then I lost 3,000 websites in the August update, August 1st, 2018. Then I started to focus on the white hat industries by starting to read the Google patents mainly. And I need to mention one more time, dear Bill Slavsky here for helping me, even if he's not among us anymore. And then I was able to find some new methods for the search engine optimization, and I gathered them with a new name, which is topical low authority. And it started to become a kind of mainstream methodology and the concept in the industry after like 134 different websites are being published by giving their names. Then our agency has been scaled. Then we turned our agency a kind of community and academy. And today we have like over 35,000 members across different type of platforms. And around 2,000 of them are private members, which means paying members.
Incredibly impressive. A community builder. I love it. Thank you for joining us here. So we have one more panelist to bring up on the stage. We have Wenceslao.
Hello, Shelly.
Hi.
How are you?
Welcome. How are you?
Very good.
It's really great to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Can you give us a little bit of background on you and the company that you work for? I'm actually fascinated. MarketGoo founder. Tell us a little bit about you and MarketGoo.
Yeah, I think there is. I'm very glad about being here with the Cloudways team because hosting has been my birth. Since I started a hosting company in Spain long time ago. Then I decided to cash out and start helping SMBs more in the online marketing space. And finally, I go back, connecting the dots. I went back to serving CEOs. So what we do today, well, since 12 years ago, MarketGoo is a company that is providing do-it-yourself SEO solutions or tools for SMBs. And pretty much we partner with hosting companies that they do white label our solution. So we are a bootstrap company from Spain. We are serving roughly 500,000 SMBs through our SEO tool, through different 30 different partners, hosting partners worldwide. And I'm here very glad to participate with the SMB focus in mind.
Thank you so much for joining. That is fascinating. Anything that enables SMBs to like take control and do better SEO, improve their website's performance, I am all for it. So very excited to have you here today. I would love to kick us off. So we're talking about harmonizing AI with SEO strategies in today's modern kind of search environment that we are in. Kicking off, first question would be, so how can SEO professionals effectively communicate the value of their work in this era, especially where AI is perceived as potentially replacing traditional search? Who wants to take it away?
I can
then.
start.
You go.
Okay, thank you. So the artificial intelligence relies on a bit of different form of search when it is compared to the traditional search engines. So when you look at the AI search, most of the time, the queries will be actually very much more complex. For instance, every year, especially in Google, the average query length actually goes higher and higher. Today, for instance, we have more queries between 2 and 4. And after the AI integration, probably the average query length will be very much higher than just today. And because of this situation, the search engines, especially Google in this case, they will need to start to change their information retrieval systems slightly. For instance, if you search for something like what is the best cat food for a cat who is, let's say, which is older than 10 years old and just fought and just, let's say, had XYZ sicknesses, and also we can add a few allergies there too. You can't ask such a question to the Google or Microsoft Bing. In this case, they will just choose 2 or 3 words from your query, and they will tell you that here are the results. Just click one of them and find the rest by yourself. The advantage of the AI search is that they're able to parse a very long, complex query to the different pieces, and they don't lose the context, which is an important improvement. And they're able to create different documents, then they're able to choose the most relevant sections of these documents, retrieve it, augment it, and then they start to bind all these different sections by reinterpreting them. So this is actually a very good, let's say, intelligence tool for our futures. But it also creates different type of issues. For instance, when I search for what is the best debt consolidation solution for veterans, you can get some of the, let's say, results. But if I ask a question like, what is the debt consolidation for a farmer who is older than 40 years old and also an old veteran? So some banks actually literally might have 2 different advantages for 2 different occupations. And let's say we have 3,000 other occupations, let's say music teacher or artist or engineers. Then most of the websites don't have content for most of these sections. Most websites, they won't be able to open a new page for every occupation, and they shouldn't open as well. But in AI search, that specific type of search model has to answer the exact query, or as an alternative, they will use semantic closeness. Let's say we don't have any info for teacher, then they will choose the second closest one, maybe mentor, maybe coach, or maybe something like that. They will semantically replace that concept with another one, and then they will retrieve some other documents like that. So I believe in the future we will be having a kind of transition era, slowly and gradually. And I need to also mention the Matt Cutts here, because 10 years, or not 10, actually 14 years ago, he said that we will be searching from our brains. And he was actually guessing that it will be happening before 2019. Still, I believe it didn't happen that much. But I don't know, maybe in the future it will be happening, and maybe the SEO will be done directly for our neurons in the future. And I will enjoy that academic side. But with that said, for everyone here, I would like to also tell that SEO is safe. It will just change, and we will just adapt and continue. Thank you.
I would just maybe also add, and before I'm going forward, I'll just underline the fact that, okay, my inputs will be from a perspective of website stats and analytics, combined with a privacy point of view. Basically, a key point to mention is that the new EU AI Act mandates that all the data fed into the AI system must be GDPR compliant. This is one aspect of things. Then I'm thinking that SEO professionals should emphasize that while AI enhances efficiency, it cannot fully replace, in my humble point of view, human touch in understanding the context, user intent, and ethical considerations like privacy for now. AI-driven SEO often relies on massive data sets, but as we move forward, privacy-first approaches such as cookieless tracking, for instance, through this, SEO professionals can demonstrate that value of strategies that balance basically between privacy with data-driven insights. And this means that they can provide valuable, compliant user insights that maintain trust on one hand and enhance search visibility rather than simply focusing on data quantity. And communicating this unique value proposition where privacy and precision meets the highlights SEO's evolving role in creating ethical, user-first search experiences.
Definitely a lot of considerations there. Thank you. Anything to add further? I have wonderful questions here, and I want to make sure we're keeping time. I want to go ahead and point out, feel free if you are attending to add questions as well in the chat. There's also a QA and poll section here. We will kind of bring some of these up, but feel free to put your questions in the chat. And if we can, we will try to circle back and answer some at the end. I want to kick in and ask here, so what role do you think human expertise plays in interpreting and acting on AI-generated SEO insights? Just to kind of circle back to something you pointed out, Dragos.
Yeah, well, I think that, as Dragos was pointed out, the missing part, or at least the human expertise could be applied to all of these insights is coming more from what the AI is not going to be as good as doing, no? As content, intent, or creativity, or even, I will say, another kind of going out of the experiments of the beaten path. I think that will be the most, the biggest play this human expertise can play in the AI.
Very true. So what would you think are some key considerations when you would balance AI-assisted content creation, especially to maintain brand voice and authenticity?
Maybe I can start with this one, but I couldn't hear the question exactly. Could you repeat it for me?
I sure can. We have, let me see here. As far as the key considerations when you're balancing out AI assisted, I'm going to say AI assisted content creation. I will emphasis on the assisted with maintaining your brand voice, especially authenticity.
Okay. So in my methodology, most of the time I have a few concepts, especially when it comes to the relevance configuration. And during the SEO Master Summit 2023, I have given an example from the stage. So I will tell two sentences from the point of search engine or any information retrieval system. The first sentence will be something like, the financial independence consultants will help families to achieve their financial freedom. Or we will tell families consult to the financial independence consultants to achieve the financial freedom. In both sentences, actually, we basically say the same thing. But when you actually put these two sentences to do any kinds of information retrieval system, you will realize that they have different type of focuses in terms of the relevance, because order of the entities in the sentences, they are different. And usually training human authors is not that easy for understanding the content like a machine actually does, because words represent mathematical computational, let's say, codes or coordinates for when it comes to the natural language processing systems. In this case, I am trying to actually create some GPT agents to help my authors to be able to use the AI and NLP systems to parse the document as a search engine actually will be doing. Usually I call this process like micro semantics, because we do micro changes, like changing the order of the entities or matching the modality in the sentence to the modality in the question. If there is a can question, the answer should be can. For instance, the Stephen De Baker from Google, he is the brain behind the Google featured snippets directly. And he directly states that 4 grams actually increase the satisfaction for users. The 4 grams means if there are 4 words in the question, that specific 4 words should be used also in the answer. And most of the time, I am trying to implement these algorithmic rules in my content structure as much as possible. Then AI is just helping me to actually replicate it for millions of sentences across thousands of documents. And if you're able to increase your relevance just with a small percentage per sentence, and if in your website, let's say you have 3 million sentences, that small difference actually will be multiplied, and then it will be a macro difference, a difference that your competitor won't be able to analyze or won't be able to imitate. And when it comes to the brand voice, most of the time, I am trying to actually put, let's say, branded opinion sections in the document in a different place than factual content. Usually the facts, opinions, or perspectives, or expertise required, experience-related text spans, they are placed slightly into a different section in the document so that the search engine actually can directly parse them and retrieve them with different type of systems. And it is also easier for users. Rather than reading one fact, one opinion, one fact, and one opinion, if you're able to first filter them into a different section, it will be actually more productive for the users.
I think we got
Uh-oh.
rabbit holes. Yeah.
Yes, I was
Maybe I
worried
can
it was me, but
maybe I can build on what he mentioned with bringing to the table another perspective from the analytics side of things combined with the privacy aspect. Because basically, whenever you're trying to generate content in a SEO format, you're trying most of the times or a lot of the times to look at what actually works at the moment. First of all, AI can surface trends, patterns, and opportunities at scale, but it lacks the ability to understand nuances such as brand voice or ethical considerations or cultural sensitivity. And then secondly, and massively important, you have to make sure, first of all, that you're collecting the impact of your current SEO or collecting 100% of the user insights and data. Yes, because in many cases, we lose large portions of visitor information because of the cookie-heavy tracking. I would start off quickly by adopting a cookieless, privacy-first solution in order to max out the data tracking capabilities. Yes, this is a privacy paradox in a way, because you are asking me, so you're using privacy sensitive solutions, but you're capturing more data. I mean, in short, yes, because all the personal side of data is being anonymized as tracking is being done at the session level in this context. This is a big trend out there, as cookies are implicitly blocked, by the way, more and more out there. See, for instance, the Safari browser case, to give you the quick example. To go even a bit further, I will bring into discussion even consentless tracking, because it is starting to be a really hot trending subject out there and can be easily done with the right tool set, by the way. So first of all, just to quickly place the conclusion there, first of all, measure 100% of what you have out there in terms of content, and based on that, you can also reiterate.
I honestly have seen so much data loss when we rolled out cookie consent globally. So it is a pain that is very felt, especially with us, and our teams are, I think we're extra sensitive towards making sure we respect privacy. And so I think we've been more aggressive than most companies, but at a default of losing a lot of valuable data. So I totally get that. Koray, thank you for coming back in. I think we lost you right at a critical summary of where you're getting to, and everyone is kind of waiting to hear you wrap that up. So I would love to divert back over so you can finish your thought there.
Thank you. But exactly, I don't know where you lost me. It was
I
it wasn't
know.
that. So in this case, if I just gather everything back for evaluating the time in a efficient way for everyone, and if you don't lose me again, I would be happy, of course. So basically, in terms of actually protecting the, let's say, the brand voice in the content, most of the time I put the facts and the opinions into the different segments of the content, and it helps actually search engines to choose a different language model for a different text span at the same time, and it's also easier for humans to read too. Rather than reading one fact, one opinion, and one fact and one opinion again, you can see the first the facts, then the opinions. And according to the context of the question or the query, you can first give the opinions, then the facts, or first facts, then the opinions as well. The order of these components or order of the nature of these text spans, it will also allow you to be connected with the query in a better way as well. Before you lose me, I'm just shutting up.
I will say I'm excited to test this. So I don't know about everyone in the audience, but I'm definitely setting up some tests here with some of our content that we've been optimizing. So thank you for that explanation. It was fabulous. Anything else to add before we move on to the next question, Wenceslao?
Well, I think that we have a great representation in quite complex SEO and wide views, no? And as I said, I'm flagging I'm taking the flag of the SMBs, and in my case, when I see the challenges that small brands they have and SMBs, I think that one of the key elements or the success they're going to have is based on the brand voice, on the authenticity, no? So I think that in this case, I will encourage all of SMBs to be more than their own and to bring more their voice and their offerings and what they really differentiates what they do into content, rather than relying on I'm a very busy guy and I'm going to rely on AI content creation or outsourcing that to other companies that are using this for scheduling or calendar. No, I can mention myself, like when I post on LinkedIn, I try to have a very authentic, even way to write what I write, and you can see not an AI is going to write that way or use the same, like as I said, authentic voice. So that will be my suggestion for the very small SMBs.
Wonderful. I've also kind of pre-trained some of our chat bots with like our brand guidelines and documentation and everything that we've developed in-house and fed that in. So if you have that established or not, I would recommend that we do that. It can be helpful there as well. Obviously, we don't publish AI generated content here, but we definitely use it to assist in the creation and optimization. So I think it's very helpful. I think everyone's running lean teams, so we can scale where we can utilize resources the best possible. I am curious, how would you recommend that businesses actually leverage AI tools, speaking of, especially with regards to, say, competitive analysis or strategic planning for SEO? Any tips, any recommendations, any specific tools?
Shall I start again?
Sure.
We'll keep the order.
Thank you. Okay, so I am usually not associated with any tool, and people usually know me for not mentioning the tools that much. But since the question requires that, I will mention a few of them. I believe if you want to learn or if you want to read the Google search or Google search results in a very much wider way, you can definitely use InfraNodus. It is a tool that is created by ex-Googlers. It is also integrated with GPT. Basically, you can do lots of stuff there for YouTube SEO too. But in the context of the Google, you can actually do just a simple search. Then it is actually getting all the results and creating a text graphic. And then they are also giving different type of contextual zones for this text graphic. And it is really helping you to actually analyze the nature of the SERP in terms of teeny tiny details. You can't open 100 results for every query, but you can create a text graph from all of them. And you can also create content while analyzing that section too. And I also, again, in some of my speeches on the stage, I I mentioned that I have created over 50 GPT agents for my community, and they have many different type of tasks. For instance, one of them just focused on simple things like named entity recognition. The other one, to complete that step, it just helps you to actually the entities that you missed. So you can actually see that what type of entities should be inserted to the document in what way. Another one, you just actually upload, let's say, again, I need to mention a tool, but let's say Ahrefs, SEMrush, Moz, Senuto, whatever you want. You can upload certain type of data, then actually it creates a kind of analysis to give you which one of these competitors is less costly to outrank. To be able to actually be a kind of authority on the web, first you should be able to outrank some of the other, let's say, smaller sites completely. And to be able to understand which one is the easiest, you are able to actually do some certain analysis. And if you chase site by site in a certain topic or industry, it will be easier for you to move further rather than just competing with everyone at the same time. And there are many other agents like syntax tree generator or meta discourse auditor, but these are a little bit advanced and it might be complicated for a beginner. But for simple things, again, you can check or do a simple backlink analysis. Or you can also upload your Search Console data and you can check which Google update hit the website negatively or affected positively. And you can compare this data with your competitors while creating a visualization as well. So some of these things are already done by my team every day, and our community also uses these things. So I suggest you to check GPT Store. You can also be onboarded with them easily.
I will have to say, I'm so glad we are recording this because I'm going to go back and take notes. So
Now, on the analytics side of things, or how to measure the impact of your content in respect to the visitor analytics, visitor behavior, I would definitely restrain also to mention maybe any specific tools, and I'll give a quick hint at the end of my intervention here. To ensure the usage of a privacy by design tool, which I mentioned also previously, especially in the context of tracking and monitoring of the user data. On one hand, you will be able to capture 100% make sure you capture 100% of the user data, which increases dramatically the understanding of your client base. This is completely clear now. Then instead of just copying competitors, businesses should focus on using these deeper insights collected through those enhanced understandings to engage in a more personalized and privacy conscious strategies that respects user data while still remaining competitive. The balance is key in building trust and long-term loyalty with customers while expanding on strategies tailored to enhance client avatars and buying personas. So I would definitely recommend here for our viewers to aim to search for cookieless website analytics or cookieless analytics on all search consoles out there, and to compare the data and start implementing this privacy by design tracking of their content outputs.
Wow. Again, with my flag of SMBs, no? So, we've been working for 12 years now with the vision of trying to democratize the SEO. And, most of the SMBs, small SMBs, they say, well, some SEO professionals, they say that's not possible because obviously this is a very complex topic. But for the SMBs, we've been trying with the vision of how we translate all of this complexity. And ultimately, the AI, not the AI on search, but the AI on technology is allowing us to get closer to the vision. So for this very small business that they are not going to be savvy enough to extract the value of these AI complex tools, what I aim is that what we, for example, are looking for is moving more into a much more easier kind of advisor that is telling them, okay, this is what is relevant for you, this is what your competition is doing, this is what you should be asking for your agency, and so on, that plays in the SEO strategy. Take into account that SEO for small businesses is like a completely different animal than much larger scale. So that will be not a specific AI tool, and I think we are looking for that kind of tool that is going to solve some of these technical struggles to understand everything.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. So what would you actually think, how would we adopt some of our SEO strategies to account for things like AI overviews or feature snippets or voice search?
Koray, you start.
Yeah, okay. So for the AI overviews, it's actually kind of a new feature yet. And most of the time it is correlated together with the featured snippets. And it is also a very similar feature to basically, it's a kind of augmented featured snippet with some guest context. So in this case, one more time, Stephen the Baker is actually behind the brain behind this too. And he was also directly, he was also a writer of the actual announcement of the AI overviews as well. And he was directly stating that getting the accuracy right is not that easy. And that's why I believe they are switching sometimes AI overviews with the across the web type of new SERP features. And they also started to bring some different type of brand comparison SERP features too. But in my opinion, to be able to compete in the AI overviews, the overall principles, at least on the domain base, it won't be changing that much. For instance, when I search for best that consolidation for a teacher, the search engine will be getting certain type of sources. And before searching for the best answer from all these websites, they will actually look for the overall authority of these sources first. And there will be a question from the search engine point of view. If all the authority sources don't have the right answer, proper or the relevant answer, should I still show the AI overview by citing a low authority or low page rank website? And still, I don't think that actually these low page rank websites are getting that much attraction from there. And you can check your log files. You will see Google Other agent there. And I have some websites that have over 40% of crawl hits from the Google Other. If you check also the Google user agents page from the developers.google.com, you will see that they have brought some new user agents like Google Other Image, Google Other Video. So they are explicitly say that Google Other is actually for research and development. So if you are being heavily crawled by Google Other user agent, it means that they're also testing your website. But usually what I see is less than 1% hit or over 40% hit. So it means they are actually prioritizing some websites to test in these sections. And when it comes to the optimization there, I have a concept called historical data. Probably you won't be able to get that much click from this new SERP feature, but it doesn't mean that it is actually something negative. Even if you are placed directly in these answers, or if the search engine is using your source to generate these answers, still it will be helping you to gain more authority and more usefulness for the search engine, which will be helping you to rank for also commercial queries as well. For news publishers or the display ads websites, it might be, of course, slightly negative as well. We need to accept it, but for e-commerce or SaaS businesses, or for many of them, it won't be that much negative. One more thing is, as I said in my first answer, I believe, since the average query length will be too long, and since the combination of these queries also will be too much, small websites, by covering way much more contexts, like that consolidation for 3,000 different occupations, or let's say 6,000 different liquors or cocktails from every geography and country. If you're able to process all this information with a proper representation, you can also outrank way much more websites and appear in the AI overviews, even if you don't have that much page rank or the links, because most of the web is not prepared for this type of search needs yet. Thank you.
I'm definitely running to check my server logs. So thank you for that. I want to actually say we got about 9 minutes left. So I have a couple questions we really have to get to. Specifically, I think we really wanted to address to everyone, what type of skills should they be investing in, especially for SEO professionals, in order to focus to remain really relevant in this AI augmented industry that we're in now? Dragos, any thoughts there?
If you want to start, Wenceslao. Maybe you have guys more. I'll take care of it.
No, well, I think that, as I said, we don't work so much with SEO professionals, but if I have to look into SEO professionals, what I think is they have to stay up to date into the really dynamics of AI, into the different development of the search and the different players that are appearing in the space. And also, I think that what we see, or what I think I see their main change is from being an operator of a tool, or having a basic or a specific knowledge about SEO and implementation, and moving more into the creativity, into the understanding, empathy, and those kind of fields. I don't know how you can do that, but I think that is a focus of being less technical and trying to be more on the strategic side overall.
And also to build sort of on what you mentioned, is that I would say that first and foremost, I would focus on user experience, for instance, because AI increasingly considers user behavior in ranking decisions, and professionals should focus on improving site usability, personalization, responsiveness to align with both AI-driven search and human preferences. And for example, just look at how long users engage with your content on your platform, repeat visits without intrusive tracking. Overall satisfaction can indicate success in a privacy-conscious world. 360 overviews related to behavior can also increase massively the success of the strategies. So combining, for instance, marketing funnels with session recordings can uncover incredibly interesting things. So within this paradigm, you could watch the exact journey of your dropouts and identify potential blockages to the final conversion point, for instance. Also, the capacity to analyze groups of pages with similar URL patterns, for instance, like product pages with various variants with the help of heat maps or session recordings, bring everything under one roof for a real 360 overview of your visitors. So I would definitely encourage to look and utilize complete platforms to marry the data together.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, I guess I am the last one, but I can give maybe a few simple points directly. Please try to understand the natural language processing. You don't need to know coding to understand it today. You have GPT agents, which is like a brain extension. If you don't know something, AI knows it. Just try to use it like a part of your brain. And the second thing is, I will definitely work on the branding, because whatever the search engine algorithms are focusing on, or however they are being configured, they will always be favoring actual brands. And as long as you have a real function or a reason to exist that is specific website, you will also be safe. That's why the e-commerce or the SaaS businesses, they are not affected that much. They are actually creating a reason to be searched with their own brand name. They are creating actually a community around themselves as well. But when it comes to the display ads websites or direct affiliates, like a middleman, I usually call them like wall websites. So they don't have that much a function, and Google tries to reshape the web according to that. So focusing on branding and NLP together, and also understanding a little bit where Google is going and what type of obstacles they will be having in the future, will be actually a great vision improving, let's say, contribution for your future.
Fantastic. I want one more question to kind of wrap up here. And then I think with Q&A, we've had such a fantastic conversation. I'm not sure we're going to get to attendee questions, but I would highly recommend, I think the same chat lives during the next session. So speakers, if we could respond to some of the questions that was directed directly to you, that would be amazing. If not, I highly recommend tweeting at our speakers as well, or Xing. What do we even say these days? Okay. Yeah, I'll never get that. But yes, please interact with our speakers, follow them on social. Last question. I want to look ahead. How would you envision interaction between AI and human expertise shaping the future of SEO? Any advice that you would give to professionals or SMBs or businesses to stay ahead in this changing landscape?
Maybe I can go.
Yeah,
Sorry.
let's go.
So to be able to harmonize the, let's say, the AI with the human expertise, there is, for instance, another tool, and I am not associated, for instance, consensus.app. You make a search, it gives you all the researches, and also it gives you the most relevant section of the research to integrate in your article, which you can use directly by citing them with different type of formats. And again, you can try to actually, let's say, balance your angle in some scientific articles. Let's say you are creating a content network or website segment just for pregnancy. And you can ask AI directly what type, let's say, for every week, what type of hormones change in what direction for what percentage, and what are all the researches that actually verify this. So human experts, we don't have photographic memory. And even if you study on pregnancy for 40 years, you won't be able to tell it for your brain. But you can always go to an AI and gather this information in the format and representation form that actually you would like to have. So it will be one of the, let's say, go point. Thank you.
Awesome.
Really short snippet from myself. So in short, in a nutshell, prioritize high quality content creation, because while AI can help optimize content, okay, all of us, we know this, human creativity and expertise will still be critical for crafting content that resonates with the end user on the emotional and the contextual level. Content that answers deeper and more complex questions, more personalized questions, will continue to perform well. After you have understood 100% of the visitor data, this is basically the leeway to tailor the content. So the silver lining here, learn how to integrate data maximizing privacy-conscious strategies into SEO planning. This would be my best advice.
I'm going to make one shorter, just focus on what AI cannot provide. Embrace AI and learn about AI, but focus on what AI cannot provide. And I will encourage pretty much on SMBs. It's been my struggle all through these years. SMBs are really busy doing their business, managing their business. But I think that those ones that are like raising the voice, having an authentic voice, and take care about the user experience are the ones that are going to be winning.
I absolutely could not agree more. We are absolutely perfect timing. I want to make sure to give props to our next session that's coming up. We have a live site audit session with the brilliant Carolyn Shelby. If y'all are familiar with her, she's with Yoast. I'm very excited for that. I want to say thank you all for joining us today. Thank you to our panelists. A wonderful discussion. I am very excited to rewatch it and take away some notes and honestly go back and revisit some of our strategies. So thank you so much for your contributions. We absolutely appreciate it.
Thank you, Shelly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Bye-bye.